What if you could create more kindness in the world just by being you? Everyone has the potential to create and receive more kindness. What if kindness is more than being nice and compassionate to others? Have you ever considered what having more kindness for you could create in your life? Get ready to learn how the energy of kindness is integral to reducing stress in your life and how it can assist in healing your body. Now, here is the host of Cultivating Kindness with Karen, facilitator of healing, Karen Leslie.
Welcome, everybody. I am so excited. Today is going to be, I'm just going to say it, it's going to be a great show. I was listening to the intro and, what could the energy of kindness bring to you and what could it give to you? Well, that is so much the energy of today's show. There is so many ways to be kind to ourselves, and we ignore so many of them. And so we're going to touch on a very important one today. So if this is your first time joining us here and you just kind of either stumbled across and found this podcast as it was starting, or you intentionally looked up Cultivating Kindness with Karen, thank you for being here. And thank you to those of you that tune in live every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time and all the other times around the world. I am so grateful you're here. My name is Karen Leslie, for those of you who are here for the first time, and I am your host for Cultivating Kindness with Karen, and we do talk about kindness in one form or another every week. However, how I talk about kindness may be extremely different than what you might be expecting. So you won't know until you show up and join in or listen on the replays. So thank you to those of you who are doing that as well. Kindness. Oh, wow, there goes my throat. So some stuff's coming in. Kindness is just not niceties. It's far more than that. And today's show is called, Do You Love Yourself Enough to... And there's a blank with a question mark at the end. Do you love yourself enough to? And we're going to look at different words or things, actions that you could put into that blank space. We're going to look at why you may choose to not put something in that space. Does this make you feel uncomfortable? Or perhaps this question, do you love yourself enough to, makes no sense to you? That's also a possibility. So we're going to look at it from a variety of different ways, because nothing is, I want to say straightforward. Nothing is straightforward. From my perception, a lot of stuff is very straightforward. However, the way I present things on the show may come across as that it's not straightforward very often. And one of the reasons is I will be showing you all the time the two sides to everything that we talk about, because there is two sides to everything. We have, there could be multiple sides. We have options, vast number of options as to how we can choose to look at something. And each option we take will give us a slightly different perspective on what it is. And that can be a really, really great task or experiment that you could take on. You can bring one belief, bring it to your mind, and then choose to look at it from, let's say, 5 to 10 different ways, different options as to how you could look at that. And allow yourself to see and feel and be aware of the differences between them. Now, they could be very minor, or they could be quite vast in how they are different from each other. It would be a great thing to do. You may want to do that a little bit after the show today, once we've gone through different ways of looking at, do you love yourself enough to? So it's not just the question, do you love yourself? Do you love yourself enough to take some form of action, to do something for you? Doesn't have to be for someone else, and I'm going to encourage you to look at it, to do it for you. It's very easy to say, oh, I love myself so much and I love humanity so much. And yes, I love myself enough too to give, to do, but for others. That is not the same thing. Yes, that's awesome. And I myself, and I encourage others to do things for other people. There's something wholly, oh, you can spell Holy or W at the front, wholly enveloping and beautiful about offering help or assistance to others. I am going to caution you, though, you don't do it from your own personal agenda. You do it from a heartfelt space of just giving. Nothing in return. Don't have any expectations. Because as soon as you put an expectation on the back of something that you are giving to someone else, you are really reducing, if not even taking away, that frequency and energy of kindness in that act. See, told you. I flip it around all the time. So let's look at what we've got today. Do you love yourself enough to? So I guess step one, do you love yourself? And if you don't, if that's a real struggle for you to find a reason or to find any one attribute of yourself that you love, then truly, this is where we need to start. It's really important because otherwise it's not going to make sense the rest of the show. So this idea of loving ourselves has a lot of potential conflict. It certainly has a lot of beliefs and viewpoints attached to it based on your upbringing, your community, where in the world you've been born or you're living. These all come into play. Having the ability to look at ourselves in that positive light, maybe getting to the point where you can look at yourself without judgment. This will bring you into that space of being able to say, yes, I love myself. It took me decades to get to that place of saying that I love myself. I would say that I can sincerely actually say this and believe it somewhere between the last 2 to 3 years. That's it. Yeah, last 2 to 3, a little closer to 3. Beyond 3, I get a no. So in the last 2 to 3 years, being in this space of being able to say and believe and know that I love myself opens up so many doors. Like just opens them wide. Now that those doors are open, or I know I can open them, what would I like to do with it? What is on the other side of that door that would be a kindness or a contribution to me? And do I love myself enough to open the door? Do I love myself enough to walk through that door and receive what is on the other side? See where I'm going with today's show? I was saying to Sarah, who produces my show every week, that I was so excited for today's show because of the last sort of 30-ish hours that I've had. They've been rough in some ways, fabulous in other ways. And the way that I was able to turn around a difficult time early yesterday morning, I have a morning call between 6 a.m. and 7 a.m. every day, Monday to Friday. And I got very triggered towards the ending of the call with something that was played on the call, an audio. And I was in tears. I was really upset. It really hit deeply. That experience, though, was such a blessing because it took me into being able to heal even more. And one of the ways, the way actually is a better way to phrase it, the most prominent reason that I was able to go through this with the healing in quite a short period of time was the fact that I love Karen. Had I not got to this space, I could very well still be in that energy that got triggered. There was sadness, there was remorse, there was guilt, there was thoughts, back from the days when I was very suicidal. There was just this floodgate opened up, and all of this came rushing in at one time. It was literally, I was seeing an actual series of pictures, like a carousel of pictures, just going across in my imagination of just so many different examples of where I had struggled before, and what I perceived to be the outcome of that with my family. And that was why it was so deep, as I was reliving areas where I thought I had been unkind, withholding. You could even say hurtful and harmful. So to be here today, to have had this show scheduled weeks ago, to talk to you about, do you love yourself enough too, is brilliant. So yes, I love myself enough too, to go through being triggered, to look at it with honesty, vulnerability, sincerity, and truth, to heal, and to come out on this side and be here with you and be as happy as can be. And then other aspects of my days. And this morning, I had a brilliant morning up as well today. And this all is a result of me being willing to do things for me because I love me. So when you think about some of these things I'm saying, what does self-love even mean to you? What did I draw on to come to the conclusion that I love Karen? This is going to vary a lot. Some people are going to think, or have been potentially brought up with, self-love that's selfish. We don't do that in our family. Some are going to think, yes, it's very healthy to have love for self. Others are going to think, it's okay, it's good to have, but you can get along fine without it. I like me, so that's enough. And it may well be. And then one day it may not. And you want to look a little more perhaps at what it means to actually have self-love. Now, self-love and self-care, from my perspective, are also two different things. So we're going to be looking more at the self-love. Is it easy to learn to love yourself? Well, we're going to have both answers there too, but I think a lot of people are going to go, nope, I had to work really hard at it. And that's me. I had to work really hard at it as well. The reason, though, I had to work hard at it was because of my beliefs and my opinions, not anybody else's. People weren't telling me, Karen, you'll never learn to love yourself. No, nobody ever said that to me. Now, I did interpret some things in some situations to mean that, but I never actually heard those words. No. But I did turn things around and create doubt and mental health difficulties such as depression and anxiety. And when you are in very deep depression, yes, it's a challenge to find something to love about yourself. So there's many ways that we can look at this. And I hope by the end of the show that you will have a gentler, kinder way of looking at self-love. I'm saying it a lot. Everything is meaningless until you give it meaning. So what is the meaning of self-love that you have given these words today? You may have a different answer by the end of the show. How we view something, the meaning we give to it, gives instant judgment as to how we are going to view it. We're going to look at it as being good, great, meh, no, not really interested. We could say no, no, just no, and everything in between. Your conclusion on how you're going to look at something gives it the meaning, gives it that frequency, that vibration, that energy. And it's that energy, that the frequency and vibration that you attribute to it that is going to land in your subconscious and end up being the leader in how you are going to act in your life. That will then give you the reality that you are currently living in. That may be a lot to chew on. We're going to go to our first break now with that. You can ponder that for a little bit if you want. There's a lot of meat in those few words that I was just saying. You might want to actually come back to the replay and just listen to that a couple of times and see what information that gives you. Yeah, I've got, yep, LOL in the comments here. So don't go away. I promise I won't leave you hanging with this like I've just done. We will continue to work through all of this as we talk about, do you love yourself enough to? Thank you for being here with me on the Inspired Choices Network. I love showing up every week with you. I love that you show up every week with me. And together, so much can be created. And we do it together every week, or every time you listen to the replay, or every time you share one of the shows with somebody else that you think, might be interested in it or might receive some help from it. We do it together. And it's my hope and desires and goals that doesn't change for a long time, that we continue to work together like this. So we'll be back in just a couple of minutes. We've just got a few things for you to listen to. And then when we get back, we're going to sort of look at determining self-love and breaking that apart a little bit more. So then we can move forward with the actions we can take. All right, don't go away, everyone. We'll be right back.
We all have different experiences with and definitions of kindness. These experiences and beliefs about kindness have influenced who we are today and how we see the world. The universe is always listening. So what are you telling the universe today? Tune in to Cultivating Kindness with Karen each week as Karen guides you to understanding how each choice you are making is either keeping you stuck or opening up the energy of empowerment for you. Listen to Cultivating Kindness with Karen, Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Central Time, 12 p.m. Mountain Time, 11 a.m. Pacific Time on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email becomeahost@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is Cultivating Kindness with Karen. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also send an email to Karen@KarenLeslie.ca. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, everybody. So we were saying before the break that we were going to look at this idea of self-love a little bit more when we came back. And how do you know just how much self-love do you have? And are you actually correct in how you are assessing your self-love? Let's look at this for a little bit, because I think there's some really good information here that we can each and every one of us, myself included, that we can gain from this. So how do we look at this? One of the first ways that pops into my thought is, how do you talk? What language do you use? When you're speaking about yourself, what are you saying? And there's so many ways we can look at this. So if you meet somebody new, how do you introduce yourself? What tone of voice do you use? Right? What's that frequency? Are you hesitant to share about who you are? Are you not confident in finding the words to talk about who you are or what you do? Those would both be an indication that your love for self may be a little on the low side. What's your self-talk? When you look in the mirror, any time of day, but let's take first thing in the morning, you're there, you've washed your face, brushed your teeth, I don't know, brushing your hair, whatever it might be. But what is that thought when you look in the mirror and you see your face, or perhaps you have a full-length mirror and you're looking in that? What is your thought or thoughts? I'm sure there's more than one. Are they positive? Are they uplifting? Are they empowering? Are they encouraging? Are they the other side of that coin? Are they hurtful? Are they neutral, no emotion, like, yeah, that's me? Are you putting yourself down in any way? Are you criticizing you in overall, or are you criticizing a part of you? So you may say that you love yourself, but if you're speaking about yourself like that to you, and you may even voice that to others, then I think reevaluating how much you love yourself could be very helpful to you. There are some people, I hear some people are saying, yes, but give it again, like constructive criticism. Yes, but I could improve. Sure, there's always room for change. Improvement implies that there's something wrong. So I would caution your thinking in that line, but there's always room to change, or the ability or option to change. Yeah, why not? Being stale, being stagnant, being just stuck or solidified, that doesn't sound like much fun. I've changed so much over the last couple of years. It's fun. It's great. And it inspires me to do more, to change in other ways, in other directions. So listen to how you are speaking about yourself, either in your own words, talking out loud, thinking your thoughts, or how you're speaking to another person. Often people will use humor, and it's actually very cutting or unkind to themselves. So your body hears the words. It's not going to pick up on the sarcasm or the attempt of humor with it. It's just going to hear those words. Those words may not be kind or loving or helpful to you. So that's one thing to look at. You can also sort of, if you're struggling with this, look around you, look within your family, look in the close friendships you have, and see, is self-love being modeled for you? Do you have somebody that you can watch or even talk to that you feel is doing a great job at loving who they are? Not from an egotistical perspective, but how they are with themselves, how they are choosing to do things for themselves and for others. Self-love doesn't mean we stop doing for others. In fact, you may find the exact opposite. The more you move into self-love, the more you may be wishing to contribute to other people. What might be different, though, for you is you will not put the other person first. You will not go into the people-pleasing frequency or way of living. You will be doing it from a different perspective and a different place within yourself. It will be healthier, maybe more fun, maybe more rewarding. There's all kinds of benefits when you have you as being very present, and from there, looking to see what you can do for others. When I looked up the meaning of the words self-love, 2 words, 1 word, there's a hyphen there. I'm not sure the correct way to say that, but I looked up self-love. We'll just go with that in the on the etymology site that I like so much. And it said, the instinct or virtue which directs a person's actions to the promotion of his own welfare. It was written a long time ago. His own welfare, her own welfare, their own welfare, however you want to do it. But it is instinct. Isn't that interesting? Instinct. Like it should be, the way they're talking about it, they're saying it should be automatic, like just there, that you would be doing things to promote your own welfare, your own well-being, which means you're not putting others first. And they call it a virtue, which implies that this is a good thing. And I think it is a good thing for all of us to have self-love. Self-hatred, self-loathing, all these other ways of looking at self, those energies, they can certainly put us first in front of other people. But when that happens, the actions that we tend to take and the thoughts that tend to happen are really void of kindness. When there's anger and hatred and resentment and fear, all of these things present, that you are at the opposite end of the scale of self-love, then it will be, in my opinion, far more difficult for you to really be in that space of kindness for others. So if that's where you are, I mean, that can change. Even if you've been there for 20, 30, 60 years, it doesn't matter. It can change. And I'd love to help you. You can reach out to me, by send an email, karen@karenleslie.ca. And we can set up an appointment. I offer a 30-minute free call to people to see whether or not we are a good fit to work together. And I will tell you if I think you're not the right fit for me or if I can't help you. But it's step one. Coming through this process of self-healing can be really difficult to do on your own. And having someone to work with could be a wonderful gift. Do you love yourself enough to hire a coach? Do you love yourself enough to purchase the sessions for healing for you? Now, you may take that as very salesy. That's okay. But I've been there. There were times when I did not love myself enough to invest financially into help for myself. I was determined to do it on my own. Didn't work well. So you can look at that however you want. But do you love yourself enough to do what's required to heal? However that's going to look for you, right? For a lot of people, that instinct to put our well-being first is very lost, very much so. And it would be great to bring it back. You've got that instinct still to move if a car is coming at you and get out of the way so you're not hit. But most of us don't have that instinct to think of, okay, is this a kindness to me if I do whatever's next? Boy, you got a lot to think about this week. This whole aspect of self-love also comes very much from the space of being in gratitude. How long a list? Like really, seriously, how long a list? Can you write out 10 things that you're grateful for about you? Can you take it to 25? What about 50? Maybe a stretch. Could you get to 100 things that you are grateful to you for or about? The more you can be in gratitude for who you are, all of it, the really nice and pretty and, soft and cozy bits, and be in gratitude for the crunchy parts and the things that cause you challenges as well. Like I was grateful for being triggered yesterday. Was it fun? Not for a short period of time. No, I mean, I was actually crying. But I am grateful for that experience. I am grateful to me as to how I handled it, how I looked at it, the help I reached out for, the tools that I used. I had so much to be grateful for. It's always there if you're willing to look for it. So how much can you be in gratitude for you? And the longer that list is, then chances are good, the closer you are to really fully being in that awesome space of genuine, truthful self-love. This would be another way of sort of that check and balance. If it's hard for you to find 3 or 4 or 5 things, then it's going to be harder for you to be in that energy of self-love. It's just information. That's all it is. And it's information that you have now the choice as to what you would like to do with it. If anything, you can ignore it too. Or you could take that chance. Do you love yourself enough to open up that door and look at that? Do you love yourself enough to understand what is behind that level of fear you are carrying with you? Do you love yourself enough to look at those beliefs that are keeping your life very limited, that are keeping you in doubt? You can put anything at the end of that sentence. Do you love yourself enough to take yourself on a trip? Do you love yourself enough that every now and then you could splurge and go out for dinner or go to a movie? You don't need to spend money all the time to show you love yourself, but every now and then it might be something really nice to do. You can go alone, you can invite someone to come with you. All depends on what would you like out of that adventure for you, not the other person. All right, time for our second break. So much more to talk about when we get back. Like this whole idea of, okay, when we come back, we're going to look at how to achieve this. We've got all these reasons as to and ways of showing ourselves that we might be kind of having some struggles with self-love and filling in that question, do you love yourself enough too? So we now are going to turn that around when we come back from this break and discover together how to make this simpler for you. Easy may not be the right word, but it does not need to be difficult either. So don't go away. We'll be back just in a couple of minutes to carry on, I think, this very interesting conversation. All right, everybody, we'll see you soon.
We all have different experiences with and definitions of kindness. These experiences and beliefs about kindness have influenced who we are today and how we see the world. The universe is always listening. So what are you telling the universe today? Tune in to Cultivating Kindness with Karen each week as Karen guides you to understanding how each choice you are making is either keeping you stuck or opening up the energy of empowerment for you. Listen to Cultivating Kindness with Karen, Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Central Time, 12 p.m. Mountain Time, 11 a.m. Pacific Time on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
This is Cultivating Kindness with Karen. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also send an email to Karen@KarenLeslie.ca. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, everybody. So we would like to now talk about, at least that's what my guides are telling me that you would like to hear about. How do I do this, Karen? So I've got lots of things I'm thinking about. I see areas where I'm struggling, where I like, no, I don't love that about me. I found a couple that I do, but I'm hearing you say, I'd like more. How do I get to that space where I love myself more? Well, it's really, it's not difficult unless you are going to decide that it is, but it really comes down to, okay, how do you view yourself? So earlier in the show, we were talking about, and I was suggesting you listen to your self-talk. How do you think about yourself? What words are you using? They'll give you a great, great starting point for looking at how you see yourself. Now, our self-image is really important. How we hold our self-image, not what the world looks at, how they define it. How do you see your own self-image? Spend some time, look at it, maybe even write it down. But that will give you sort of the boundaries, the container in which you're living in. Your reality will be based on how you view yourself. If you are really on the more negative side, then that's going to be showing itself in the world around us. So here's the place to start. Change how you look at you. How to do that? Pick one thought. Pick something about you that you're not overly thrilled with and work on turning that around and seeing that aspect of yourself in a new way. Remember that task of taking one thought, looking at it from all those different perceptions? Do that. And find a new way of wording things for yourself that makes you feel a little better. Now, it may not light you up and think, whoa, that's awesome, I am amazing, but you can get there. But you want it to start to be more positive. And as you do that, you're going to start to reprogram and bring in a different energy into your body. Now, the key here, though, is, guys, you have got to do this a lot. Repetition is absolutely mandatory if you want to be working and changing a thought pattern. So how you see yourself, and you want to change that, that's changing a thought pattern. Repetition, so important. Positive words, really important. So choose carefully how you are going to reframe this one aspect of you that you're looking at. So there's a couple of first steps. There's a couple of them there. Now, another aspect of this is going to be that you may have to let go of something in order to make space for this new way of looking at you. Yeah. Granted, the mind, it has 60,000 to 80,000 thoughts a day. So if it has that capacity, what's throwing in a slightly different thought 32 times in one day? That's a fraction of it, like no big deal. You may find it more of a challenge than you think you would. Creating a new way of thinking does take that dedication to it. So you might have to let go of something that is holding that old way of thinking in place. It could be some activity. It could be being with a certain person or a community. If you find you're going into a certain community or you're talking to somebody on the phone on a regular basis, and that relationship is not making you feel good about yourself, if you're going into comparison, going into doubt, feeling judged, hearing unkind words towards you, then those can all be examples of something you may need to let go of. You might need to walk away. Something may need to leave in order for you to have that space to work with this positive, healthier way of looking at yourself. as you build towards loving yourself more. Now, you may find that that's not something you need to look at. So that's cool. So you might actually feel you need to add something to your life. So let's say you're good at something. You're good at drawing, sketching. You think, oh, I'm just doodling. And somebody looks at it and goes, wow, that's really good. Did you just do that? How long did it take you? Oh, I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes. I could never. Maybe you need to add in your doodling. That was just in air quotes for those of you not watching. Maybe you need to add in doodling more often during your day so that you can visually see and have that tactile experience of pen and paper or pen, ink, whatever it is for you, to remind yourself that you're really good at that. Then acknowledge, this is good. I like this. Whatever you do, try very hard to not go into criticizing it. Oh, this part's not that great. Oh, look at those lines. No, you're not looking for perfection. You're looking just for appreciation. So maybe you need to add something like that in. If you love physical activity, I don't know, do you like to run? Would you like to take it up? Do you love yoga? One of the things I love to do is I love to go to the salt cave and hang out there for an hour. So add something like that into your day or into your week. Maybe it's not something you can do every day, but you can add it in more often than it currently is. That will help with how you are seeing yourself. That will help you with this aspect of self-love, especially if you remind yourself that you're doing it because you love you. Because this is my knowing that doing this is for my overall well-being. Doing this is a way of showing me I love me. So it might be a physical activity. You could be doing baking. And you think, well, yeah, but I can't eat all this baking. There's no way I should be eating all this baking. If you can afford to do it, give it away. Donate it. Give it to your neighbors. There's lots of places that would genuinely appreciate and be very humbled by the fact that you are gifting something like this that you're really good at and makes you feel good to them. You hear people say that, the secret ingredient to my recipe is love. Well, that's probably very, very true. So you might want to add something to your maybe not your day, but to a regular routine that you have to boost up your feeling and your sense of self-love. I wrote on Facebook this morning, so I'm quite active on Facebook. You can look up Karen Leslie and follow me if you want. I wrote what I wrote this morning. Who am I required to be today to have ease and flow in my day? And then I put, am I willing to be that person? To me, this is just another reminder that I can put out for you and of myself of self-love. I love to have a day that's just ease and flow, like things go from one activity to another. There's not drama, there's not stress. Sure, there's going to be hiccups and things sometimes. Yeah, that's not a problem. But just that overall sense of ease and flow with my day. And that's one of the intentions I set every morning. I write out a gratitude list of 10 things every morning. And often I will say, I am so happy and grateful now that I have ease and flow in every day. Or words to that effect. And with writing that every day, reading it back out loud to myself every morning and being in that space, it happens. Because I have that mindset, that intention that this is the way my day is going to be. And It is. Yes, right? Yesterday, whew, there was that moment. However, there was ease and flow coming through it. There was no anger, there was no rejection, there was no energy of any emotion that caused me to come out of ease and flow. It was like, oh, here I am. All right, I'm going to work with this. And then I did so in a way that I was able to get back into the other tasks that my day had. I will admit, in all honesty, I was tired at the end of the day. Because emotionally and that, it made me also physically tired, but my day still had ease and flow. So who are you? Who are you willing to be? No. Do I love myself enough to be that person? You may have a meeting with somebody, meeting someone for coffee. Maybe there's some apprehension, or maybe there's been past tension, or maybe it's a brand new person and you're like, okay. Who can you be in that moment so that you can have ease and flow with that? And do I love myself enough to be in ease and flow? Do I love myself enough to find that confidence? And am I willing to choose to be that person? Am I willing to be that person with the confidence that I desire? It's all there for you. You can shift it around, right? And this will all go towards building your self-confidence and building that desire and that knowing that your self-love can just multiply and grow. We are at our third break. This has gone by so quickly. So don't go away, all right? Afterwards, I will do my best to sum this all up, wrap it all up together for us, and hopefully leave you with this new, deeper desire to work with that question. Do I love myself enough to? Right. Don't go away, everyone. We'll be back just in a couple of moments.
We all have different experiences with and definitions of kindness. These experiences and beliefs about kindness have influenced who we are today and how we see the world. The universe is always listening. So what are you telling the universe today? Tune in to Cultivating Kindness with Karen each week as Karen guides you to understanding how each choice you are making is either keeping you stuck or opening up the energy of empowerment for you. Listen to Cultivating Kindness with Karen, Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Central Time, 12 p.m. Mountain Time, 11 a.m. Pacific Time on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. This is Cultivating Kindness with Karen. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also send an email to Karen@KarenLeslie.ca. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, everybody. All right, we are in our final segment. Now, in the commercial, if you were listening, it was saying the universe is always listening. And yes, it does. It may not have physical ears and listen like the way we do, but it listens through vibration. It listens through emotions. It has a variety of ways that we could define how the universe listens. So if you're struggling with finding a way to increase your self-love so that you can add something to the end of this question, do you love yourself enough to? Ask the universe. Say, show me. Show me a part of me that I can love more. Show me a part of me that I do love that maybe I'm ignoring or I'm refusing to see. Ask for help. Reach out to me. We can work together. I do have a one-to-one practice where I work with people, educating them, giving them tools and helping them through situations and scenarios like this. Sometimes it's so deep and vulnerable, potentially painful, that having that safe space of somebody with you makes all the difference in the world. And then I have a programs aspect and group work that I do too, but this might fit more into working one-to-one. Self-love could look like saying no to something when you would normally say yes, but you know you're going into people-pleasing, or you're going into a scenario where it's going to make you feel worse about yourself. You can have the opposite. This self-love can look like saying yes when you would normally say no, getting over the fear of trying something or the fear of being somewhere that might be a little bit uncomfortable, that saying yes to something you know that will nurture you, that will actually benefit your well-being. Saying yes to going to an extra yoga class, saying yes for me to go again to the salt cave or whatever it might be for you. There is no one way to look at all of this. It's up to you. It is your task to define what this will look like for you, not somebody else's. This is you. And the joy of this, even if it feels uncomfortable, the joy of this is that you get to create all of these different ways of looking at you and being in appreciation for you, being in gratitude for you, and raising up that meter of self-love, bringing it up to a height where you are absolutely 100% important every day. Now, there's give and take every day, and there's times when we need to put somebody else first because of whatever the situation is, whatever that scenario is. But we never fall off the page. There's always a balancing act with it at times, for sure. Think about how you talk to yourself. Listen to how you talk to yourself. Do you have desires? Sure, they can be physical desires. They can be with intimacy if that's what pops in. No problem. Awesome, in fact. Or do you have a desire to learn something new, go somewhere? Do you have a desire to get to know you more fully? I hope the answer is yes to that last one. There is so much inside of you. And most of us, truly, most of us, we don't even have a clue as to how much depth and amazement, skills, capacities that are inside of us because we've hidden them away for so long. And for all very good reasons in that moment. But is now the moment to let that go? Is that part of the list of what might need to be let go of for you to add more to you? For you to have that greater sense of self-love? What speaks to you? We have awesome timing for this, and we're running out of time. So I just want to quickly say that we have a full moon happening on April 23rd, 2024, depending on when you're listening to this replay. And full moons are a time of gratitude, time of forgiveness, but the energies that we have around us right now are very, very much that space of confronting what is not working for you and what is holding you back. Yes, confronting it. Do you love yourself enough to confront what is stopping you? Will you step into that space where you stop refusing self-love? Will you step into that space now of making it a priority to bring yourself into that energy where every day has that ease and flow, where every day shows you the gifts? Next week, we have a show. Our show title is The Gift in Resistance. And I may have brought up all kinds of areas for you today where you were feeling resistance. And that's cool. Join me next week and we can work through that so we can find out, okay, why is that resistance coming up? And what is the gift? Because there is one. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you for listening to Cultivating Kindness with Karen. Karen Leslie returns Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Central, 12 p.m. Mountain, 11 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can find Karen at KarenLeslie.ca and follow her on social media. Until next Wednesday, Karen is sending you waves of kindness for a fabulous week. Remember, it's only you who has the power to be and receive the kindness required to change your life.